this cooking and cleaning thing isn't bad. Like, I just don't understand why women wanted to work.
Cut this shit out. You are working. This framing that there are women who work and there are women who don't work because men have gifted them the opportunity to stay home and cook and clean for them, you're both working. It is fine to want to stay home and do those things, but that is not a gift of no labor. You are both working, and when you're doing it exclusively in the home, you're working with no rights, no protection, no safety net. You're providing services that if you weren't around, that man would have to pay multiple professionals to get, because it's work, it's valuable work. But your job security in doing that is entirely contingent on that man deciding to keep you around. As your youth and your beauty, two things that are very protective of that job security, to a certain point, start to fade. Just because it feels fulfilling and free to not go to work every day does not mean you are free. All of the comments on this video are like, this is feminism. Making a choice of the life you want to live is feminism. No, feminism is collective liberation for all women. Feminism is women having the resources to not have to depend on men. Feminism is freedom from oppression, and freedom from oppression is having choices. Without money coming in that is yours, if that relationship ends, your job ends. You'll have no money, you'll have no resume, you'll have no references, no roof over your head, no unemployment check, you will have no choices but to find another man to support you. You need to make this man be paying you for the services you're providing as if you had a real job, so that if that marriage ends, you have something to fall back on. Say, if I forgo working outside of the home to stay home and take care of this family, I get this percent of everything if we break up. If he says no to some type of agreement like that, then him allowing you to not work is not about letting you have the life that you've always dreamed of. It's about making you dependent on him and exploiting your labor. I'm rewatching Mad Men right now, and I just got to the point where Betty wants to divorce Don because he's been lying and cheating and gaslighting her. And she's been a homemaker for their 2 kids for 10 years. She's also been exploiting the labor of Black women to help her with that, but she has had no work and no money of her own. She goes to a lawyer and she's like, you know, what can I do? And he's like, you should stay married. You'll get no money. He'll probably get the kids because he has all of the resources, and she cannot leave that marriage until she has another man lined up that is willing to fully support her. And she was a rich woman. Her husband was worth millions of dollars, but none of it was hers. And that's the part that you don't see with all these trad wife light videos. It looks lovely and empowering and free to not be some loser feminist who has to go to work until their man changes their mind, or until you change your mind, like, oh my God. And then you will have nothing. He will have all the money you allowed him to make in his career, and he'll get everything he needs from the next woman in line, itching to take your place because she was brainwashed by trad wife.
I'm here to tell you why that whole trad wife trend is absolute bullcrap. I just got off the phone with a friend of mine who has been married for about 15 years now. Before she got married, she got a master's degree in education and a law degree. She met her husband in law school. He wanted a traditional wife. She did not take the bar, and instead they got married. He took the bar. He passed the bar. He became a lawyer, and she became a full-time housewife and later a mom, times 5. They have 5 children. Okay, fast forward 15 years, where he has been cheating on her for years. She finally caught him red-handed. She has enough confidence and determination to say, I want a divorce, I'm done. He's walking away with a $300,000+ job that he got, by the way, from one of her mom friends in a mom group. Let's just put that aside. She has nothing. She has 2 advanced degrees, 0 experience. So are they even worthwhile? Are they even worth anything? She has nothing to show for it. And in the last 15 years, what has changed in law and in education? Probably quite a bit. So she is stuck at this crossroads of feeling like she has nothing. And before you say alimony, he is trying to screw her out of everything he possibly can. She cannot keep the house, even though she has primary custody of the children. She can't afford it. She has no job. Absolutely no job right now. And even if she did, there are 5 children. So between drop-offs and pickups at 4 different schools, she has about 3 hours in the daytime when she is not tending to children. So to any woman who is considering that the trad wife lifestyle might be it for you, I encourage you to think about this story. Remember it. And just remember that you as a woman need to have something for yourself. If anything, just for yourself, because you absolutely never know what can happen in life, whether it be divorce, whether it be cheating, whether it be the passing away of your spouse. You have to take care of yourself and put yourself first. You can still love and support your husband and be an incredible wife who takes care of your man, but take care of yourself first.
You think you're justified?
I've been what? I've been doing what for 10 years?
You've been riding on my income.
I've been riding on your income for 10 years. Being a stay-at-home mother, which you wanted me to.
Oh, we need to have a very important conversation about this, because you want to talk about how she's riding your income, but you don't want to talk about how she facilitated your ability to make one. Listen, some mothers stay home by choice, and some couples make the mutual decision that that's what's best for their families. But others are forced to put their dreams on the back burner in order to further their husbands' careers. So many women have been forced to choose between having a family and having a career. But so many men have gotten to have the family and the career because there was a woman who was willing to stand by him and handle one so that he could go and be successful at the other. Let me ask you a question. How would you have stayed late in order to impress your boss and get that promotion if your wife wasn't willing to put your children to bed every night without you? And do you think you would have been considered as good of an employee if you had to leave work every time your child needed to be picked up from school with a fever? You never had to consider how to balance parenting and working because you only had to focus on one. And you weren't preoccupied with thoughts of grocery shopping, school projects, and sports games because you didn't have to be. Being a stay-at-home parent doesn't mean you don't work. It just means you don't get paid. So you're quick to call her lazy when it's not like she's working less, but you're more confident when you're the only one with the sense of security that comes from feeling financially free. And being a stay-at-home parent is often a lifelong sacrifice because it's not like she just gets to go and follow her dreams once the kids are grown, because then she's entering the workforce later in life with little to no work history on her resume because we unfortunately live in a society that doesn't consider holding it all together to be a skill. You don't like that someone is spending your money, but have you ever considered what it would cost you to hire a nanny, a maid, a chef, and a personal shopper? And is it really your money if you stop someone from earning in order to make sure you could? You're fine with being the sole provider when it comes to escaping your responsibilities at home, but you're quick to say she has no value because she makes no money every time you want to fight. So let me leave you with this. You may be the one who makes the money to buy the groceries, but she's the one who turns it into a meal for you to eat. You may be the one who makes the money to pay the mortgage, but she creates the house you go home to. And you might pay the bill to sign your children up for sports, but she's the one who brings them every day in order to make sure they can play. So before you want to go spouting off about all the things that you bought, you may want to consider what she gave up so you...
Is it normal in a marriage for the stay-at-home mom to have to ask for money? Like anytime she needs anything at all, she has to ask for money in like a 12-year marriage to like be made sure that you never have anything extra.
Is it normal that your partner goes out of his way to give you just enough money to take care of tasks and he ensures that you don't have a penny extra? No. But is it normal that a partner who is trying to financially abuse you behave this way? Absolutely it is. Not every man that wants to be the provider and pay every bill in the household wants to do it for good reasons. Sometimes they know that it's the best way to be able to control you. They want you to be in a situation where you cannot afford to leave. Where would you live? What would you do for money? How would you take care of the kids? What would you eat? How will you make it without them? Oh, you're the one doing all the cooking and the cleaning and the child rearing and the laundry, so he doesn't have to hire a maid or a chef or a nanny or a tutor. He's the one who's making the money. So if the relationship ever falls apart, he's going to say that it's his money, that's his house, his car, his 401k, his savings account. And some men take the money that you've helped them make to start all over with a brand new wife and brand new kids. I said it before, but I'll say it again. Men always consider their finances, so women have to always consider theirs as well. You don't want your entire future to be dependent upon whether a man still likes you in 10, 20, or 30 years. You may have to consider getting a job so that you can have your own money to ensure that no matter how that man feels in the future, that you'll always be taken care of. Because if he's stingy while he's married to you and
Child wives is a short form of traditional wives. These are wives who choose to stay at home to take care of the children and the home as they let their husbands to provide for them financially. And guys, I want us to know, is it okay to be a traditional wife, or you think it's not okay to be a traditional wife? I want you guys to watch the full video, then share your thoughts in the comment section.
So being a stay-at-home mom isn't a job, right? But if I took my kids and dropped them off somewhere and had someone watch them and had to pay them to do so, they have a job, right? If I brought someone in my house to clean it, and that's what they did for a living, they have a job, right? If I paid someone to do my laundry, because that's what they do for a living, they have a job, right? If I paid someone to mow my lawn, because that's what they do for a living, they have a job though, right? If I had a nanny that had to take my kids to school and daycare and pick them up from school and daycare and take them to their doctor's appointments and take them to their IEP appointments and take them to their therapies. And I paid them to do so. They have a job, right? And I do all those things for free. I take care of my children. I do the laundry. I clean my house. I take my kids to school and daycare and all of their appointments. But being a stay-at-home mom isn't a job. Y'all might want to read.
Women who are stay-at-home, she should get a salary for it. It's a full-time job.
To be a wife.
Men can't afford traditional wives. I did the math, and this is how much it would cost if women received an allowance for being traditional. If you want a woman who cooks 3 meals a day, that's a private chef. And the average salary of a private chef is 23,500 rands a month. If you want someone to do your dishes, your laundry, and clean your house, the average salary for a domestic worker is around 5,000 rands. And if you want children, IVF treatment costs up to 120,000 rands per round. In total, you owe your wife up to 360,000 rands a year, with a bonus of 120,000 rands for each child that she gives you. And that's just for cooking, cleaning, and baby making. Let's not forget, you want a peaceful, supportive woman who listens to your problems, plans your life, manages your schedules, and remembers your mom's birthday, which makes her your therapist, your personal assistant, and your event planner. If we add these roles to the list, that's an extra 30,000 rands per month, bringing your total to 720,000 rands a year, plus 120,000 rand bonus for each child that she gives you. And men expect all of this for free. And because it's free, they don't show any appreciation. These cheapskates want free stuff, but have the audacity to call women gold diggers. If women stopped giving away their labor for free, this is how much it would cost for a man to get everything he needs from her. Imagine if women started charging you for every service you take for granted. You'd need a second job just to afford the woman you already have. The second we put a price tag on women's contribution, suddenly you realize men can't really afford.
For a stay-at-home mom, you should be receiving a salary from your husband. Try to replace a stay-at-home mom. You're going to be paying for a chauffeur, a chef, a nanny, a project manager for the house. In fact, recent data has shown that stay-at-home moms, non-compensated working parents, if you had to pay them a salary, it would be at least $175,000 a year.
The NBA players aren't going to see this. To say good luck replacing a stay-at-home mom, it's like, right. But it's really easy to replace an employee.
Yeah.
So Manny, 50. Project manager, which I don't need, but I'll get anyways, 50.
Yeah.
All right. I have 75 grand to play with now.
Yeah, cook.
Hey, tell bro to hit me up. I'll do it for 120, dude. What you mean?
You 175 on what planet?
WNBA's like, I could have just done that.
Yeah.
Here is my hot take, but I think it's just a really rational take. If you want a traditional wife, then be a traditional man. And I'm talking about obviously heterosexual relationships here. You cannot ask for stay-at-home wifey privileges if you don't have stay-at-home wifey money. You want me to clean the kitchen? I'm happy to clean the kitchen if I get to wake up at 10, I get to clean the kitchen, I get to go lounge by the pool, and then you come home at night. Like, sure, no problem. But if I'm waking up at the crack of dawn with you, we're both going to our two very demanding jobs, and then coming home, don't ask me for anything you're not willing.
I'm seeing a lot of women wanting to be stay-at-home wives, and I'm seeing a lot of influencers lie to you guys about the reality of being a stay-at-home wife. As someone who is a stay-at-home wife with no kids, let me give you girls some advice. When you go into a marriage with the goal being to be a stay-at-home wife, that is the easiest way to lose yourself in your marriage and in your children. Yes, you know, it's all nice. I'll wake up in the morning, do my makeup, drink my matcha tea, go to hot yoga. Yes, that's what I do. That's what they show you on social media. And if I didn't take the time to get to know myself and love myself before I got married, I would have been lost too. Make sure that you are going to school to get a degree or a trade, whatever, a certificate, something you can fall back on. Learn to love yourself before anybody. Before I got married, before I vowed to my husband, I vowed to myself that I would never abandon myself.
Coming from somebody who has been a stay-at-home girlfriend for 3 years,
it's not the life you want. And when I say stay-at-home wife, mom, girlfriend, whatever, I mean you are relying solely on your partner's income. But I saw a quote a long time ago, and I wish I listened to it. If you give a man the power to feed you, he also has the power to starve you. But when I tell you there was no amount of gifts, trips, nothing truly made me happy. And honestly, I convinced all of you that I was living the life. I feel like that's what a lot of women do. They try to convince themselves and everybody else that they're enjoying their life of not having anything for themselves. I was showing you guys this nice apartment, my daily Target runs, you know, I was going crazy every single day. And there is a lawyer on TikTok, but she said the divorce rate with stay-at-home moms and wives is very high. It's kind of the same story every time on why they're filing for divorce. You know, the man says, you don't have to work, just stay with me. All you gotta do is take care of the family. To a lot of you guys, that would be music to your ears. If he is paying for your whole life and you don't have any income at all, there will start to be a resentment. I'm just glad I was young. I didn't have any kids. I was not married. I was able to start my life before I wasted more years just staying in the house. Being in a relationship where you know you will have nothing when you leave, or if this person ever leaves, that's not gonna feel good, you know? And also something else I didn't like about having my life completely funded, you kind of have to let them do whatever they want. To like go about things differently and tolerate a lot of BS because your life is on the line. And as delusional as I was, I knew that I never wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. Once you add kids into the equation, you're probably never gonna leave. Because once you pop out that kid, that's when you really sign a death contract. Like, you can't go back now. Because if you leave, not only do you have to fend for yourself, you have to fend for an innocent life too. So you're definitely not leaving if you have no income. I ain't doing no wrestling. Getting back into the workforce is not easy. Go ahead and do your research. And I'm pretty sure you're thinking, oh, I could just get alimony. That's like a unicorn. Do you know how much money that man makes? Did you make him sign a prenup? Because you will get comfortable staying at home, not doing shit. And then before you know it, 10 years passes by, you got kids, your husband's cheating on you with a younger woman. Are you gonna stay, or are you gonna take your kids, get a divorce, get a job? Staying home and taking care of the kids. And
why is being a stay-at-home mom and depending on a man becoming a trend again? Didn't we learn from like our grandparents and like our parents and literally all around the world that this isn't the best plan? Like, I love seeing women be feminine. I love to see them at home. I love to see them fucking shopping and going to Pilates and just living their life as they should. But I do really hope 3 things. 1, that you either have an education or you have work experience. Because let's say something goes south, right? Shit doesn't work out. He leaves you. You were fully depending on that man for finances, for a home, for food, for clothes, and now everything is gone. What are you going to do? Are you able to depend on yourself without him, is my question. 2, do you know about your finances? Are you in a joint account? Do you know what's going? Do you have your own account? Do you have your own money that you potentially could be saving? Do you have your own business? Do you have something going on for you that allows you to be financially independent if need be? And 3, I just hope that the overall relationship isn't toxic in the sense that nothing is being held over your head. So for example, I grew up in an immigrant household, so this is just a norm for women to stay at home and for the man to go work. And I would notice in the community that a lot of men would hold shit over their wives' heads because they were supporting them and they were providing everything. So it's like, well, I do everything, so da 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 da. So in that sense, I'm not saying all men are like that. I'm not saying that's gonna happen to every woman, but these are things that need to be considered if we're gonna go ahead and glamorize this shit in this way. All I've literally been seeing is women being like, spend the day with me as a stay-at-home wife or as a stay-at-home girlfriend, and then they'll just go shopping and enjoy their life, and I fucking love that for you. But I feel like we should also be remembering that a man is really not dependable, truly not dependable. And at the end of the day, like, we're all human beings at the end. Like, shit happens, divorces happen, breakups happen, so you do need to be considerate of that and just be a smart person about that stuff. You don't want to be like, fuck, I don't have anything, I don't have food, I don't have clothes, I don't have finances, like, I'm stuck without this man. You never want to be depending on a man, never mind anybody else. You don't want to be depending on somebody for your living, for you to have a life. You want to depend on yourself. So give yourself those things, give yourself those resources, so that if you do decide to be a stay-at-home wife, which, shit, I might decide to be a stay-at-home wife one day if I have kids and I'm like, I don't feel like working, but I'll know that I have my own at the end of the day, and that I really truly don't need this man for me to live the life that I'm currently living. So this is just a PSA for all the stay-at-home people, whatever. This is not any hate. This is just a little reminder, because I've seen the ugly side of stay-at-home wives and how it can really just become a manipulative thing and a shit situation.
I'm sorry, but you know which propaganda I'm not falling for is glamorizing being a stay-at-home wife. Mind you, I didn't say being a stay-at-home wife. It is a noble job, it is a respectable job, it is a devalued job, and it is an extremely difficult job, which is my very issue with glamorizing it. I really think a lot of this trad wife content got y'all a little bit disillusioned. I mean, even Nara Smith the other day said that she doesn't identify as one and that she's a model and an influencer and a working woman. But this content is giving a false narrative, and the girlies are letting go of their dreams and aspirations because of it. And that is what I'm not falling for, because don't get me wrong, I would be willing to be a stay-at-home wife in a certain phase of my life if it was what was best for my kids, but like, I'm not gonna aspire towards that for the next 20-30 years, because I personally think it is so much easier to like have a 9-to-5, wear my cutesy outfits, go to my soft girl corporate job, clock in, clock out, come and be present with my kids, and like use the money to hire people to do all the house cooking and cleaning and admin stuff. Like, to me, that is a much more appealing model than like taking care of a whole family, doing everything at home for free for the next 30 years. Like, that is so much more difficult. Even when I have to take care of myself and feed myself 3 meals a day, the cooking, the cleaning, the prep, it is physical labor. And I'm all for women choosing what's best for them, and I do think certain women thrive in that environment, but like, let's not glamorize it and
do not think you as a woman should ever be a stay-at-home mom, a stay-at-home wife, a stay-at-home girlfriend. You as a woman need a job. I'm sorry, I hate to say it. You need a W-2 job where taxes are getting taken out. Don't listen to my previous videos where I said we shouldn't be paying our taxes. You as a woman need a job. I'm sorry. You cannot put all of your eggs in the basket of a man paying all the bills. Like, when you are a stay-at-home mom, for instance, and you don't have a job, you're not contributing to Social Security, you're not contributing to 401k, unemployment. Have you made sure that your spouse's health insurance from their job allows you to be covered under it? Did you look at how much your premiums are going to go up covering you and all your kids? Like, I'm sorry. You need a job as a woman. I don't care. It doesn't need to be a full-time job. You can have a part-time job. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying I get all the reasons people stay home instead of working. But you need to.
So I heard traditional wives have the game messed up. That man divorces you and then you have nothing? As Nina, the money mentor, let me tell you what they were supposed to do. First of all, prenup. No matter what your financial status is or his financial status prior to getting married, you should get a prenup, because things can change over 20, 30 years, obviously. Look at how technology has changed from when I was a kid, I'm 31, to now. Things change pretty fast. Number 2, if you're a traditional wife, does he give you any money? Like, are you just broke because are you just broke the whole time and your husband's rich? I know he's giving you money. Where are you putting it? Are you just blowing all of it? Have a plan. Save it. Spend some of it. For real, spend some of it. But save a lot of it. And 3rd, make sure your credit is good. You still need to have good credit, because what if you get a divorce and you need to get your own place? A lot of people don't like co-signing for other people. Get a prenup, keep his money, and
I think in today's society, wives are supposed to work to earn money too, because this is so important for a relationship. Because if you are married and your husband is the only one working and he's the only one providing financially, in case the husband gets financial problems, it's going to be so risky for the family. And if you have children to look after, then you know that children really need finances too to survive. You know that our home needs finances. In case your husband doesn't have finances anymore, you are going to look at each other with no solutions. But in case you are working as a wife, you can easily fix all this financially as you wait for your husband to get better financially. And again, it's very good in marriage for a wife and a husband to be helping out each other financially, because sometimes financial responsibilities are stressful, and if you leave them to one person in a relationship, this really affects that person emotionally and mentally, and you would not like to see someone you really love and care about go through this, because at the end of the day it might not be good for a relationship. So it's better for a wife to be working, because this helps the wife to team up with the husband all the time to cater for financial responsibilities. Because if you let the man do it alone, it can be so stressful, and this stress, it can put it on the family. So there is this trend of women who are calling themselves traditional wives on social media, and many women who look up to them, they think it's really cool for them to also be traditional wives without earning any money, without working on their careers, thinking it's cool because they are seeing these women on social media doing this. But what they forget is that these women are working on their careers and they are earning from what they are doing, because their career is content creation, and through content creation most of them get money from that. So actually they're not fully traditional wives. They're also working because this is their career and they're earning money. So it is not fair for these women to encourage other women who are not content creators to be traditional wives, because these women who are not content creators, they're going to end up staying at home, earning nothing, not knowing how to make money, and they leave it all to their husbands. And like I told you, it's risky for a wife not to know how to make money, because it's very important, because in life there is a lot of uncertainties, so you don't know what may happen in the future. What if your husband is not there anymore? What are you going to do as a woman? And yet you have children. It's very responsible for a woman to know how to make money, to earn money in today's society, because you don't know what is going to happen in the future. What if your husband becomes financially unstable? What are you going to do? How are you going to feed your children? How are you going to cope up as a family? So you need to be working as a woman. And so it's very important for you as a wife to be working, for you as a wife to know how to make money, because you're not doing this for yourself alone, but you're doing it for your children, you're doing it for your family, because you always need financial backup in a family. If your husband is working, you also have to work, because in case he loses his job, in case he's out of the picture, you as a woman, you can easily provide financially, because it's really important. For men who are financially stable, who think they can afford to have a traditional wife, I think it is not the safest thing to do, because at the end of the day, actually, if you really love your wife, you have to understand that your wife also has to learn how to make finances, learn how to earn finances, because at the end of the day, if you are not in the picture, if you are gone, how is she going to survive? How is she going to take care of herself? Yet she needs finances to look after herself, meaning you will not have done any good for her. So you need to understand, if you really love your wife, you need to help her to understand that she needs to work to earn money, because it is something good for her. And again, men, this is also good for your children. In case you're not around and you're gone and your wife has stayed with the children, how will your children survive if the wife does not know how to make money? Meaning you'll have left your wife and your children in a very bad position. So sometimes men can be thinking it's a cool thing to just provide for their women financially and let them be, but it's not really cool in today's society, because families need financial backup. Like, Everyone has to be earning so that in case one partner has got financial problems, the other person can also help out to fix the financial problems. And sometimes it's sad to know that traditional wives sometimes think that they are not working. They think that the only people who are working are the ones who are going out and going to offices. They think it's only their husbands working because they bring in finances. But you have to understand as a traditional wife that what you're doing is really work. It's a job. Waking up in the morning and taking care of the children and being hands-on when it comes to children is not easy. It's really work. And even taking care of the home, it's really work. Even if you're not earning money from it, it is really work. And sometimes such women who are traditional wives, they don't think they deserve respect for their work, but you deserve a lot of respect for that work because that is really work. And also, when it comes to traditional wives, you have to understand that if you choose not to learn how to make money, if you choose not to earn money in your marriage and you just stay home to take care of the children and the home, it is really risky for the family financially. Because in case anything happens to the person who has been providing financially, like your husband, then it means you are going to be lacking financially. And this will affect you and your children in a very negative way. So I think sometimes if you really want to be a traditional wife, I think people should learn how to balance between being hands-on with their children and their career. Because you need both of these things in life. If you're married and you have children, you need to know how to balance, how to be hands-on, and how to earn money, because it's supposed to be 50-50. You don't have to just let one side win, because it's risky if you just choose to stay at home without earning finances as a woman. And it's also risky to just be earning finances and forgetting about your family. I think in today's society, a balance is better than taking on one side and leaving the other side. Because if you just take on looking for finances and you just don't pay attention to your family, again, it's not good, especially for the children. Wives are supposed to work, but at the same time, they have to figure out how to also find some time to pay attention to the home and the children, which is possible because I've seen many women do this. And to wrap it off, I want to say that I am not judging traditional wives, but I'm just trying to show women who have not yet made a choice between being a traditional wife and a wife who works to try to think through the two options, because it's very important to understand something before you get into it. And again, I always see women who are working judging traditional wives, and I also see traditional wives sometimes judging women who choose to also work as they look after their family too. And I think it's not cool to judge each other's choice. Everyone has a right to make their own choice in life. If someone thinks like being a traditional wife is fulfilling to them, then we have to respect their choice, because in life people have to love what they're doing. So even if you try to convince someone like a wife to go and work, yet they feel like they don't love to go and work professionally, and yet they feel like they don't love that, they think it's not their purpose, then it will not be a cool thing. So we need to let people be. In case really that is what they love and they're enjoying being traditional wives, then let them be, because that is what life is all about. And if someone wants to be a wife and they can step out and work and earn finances, at the same time they can also look after their family, traditional wives, stop judging such women, because it's also their choice. This is what they love. At the end of the day, let's respect each other's choices. And that's it for today, guys. If you have anything to add on this topic, you can share your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. It's been your girl, Joan Complete, as always. I would like to wish you a wonderful day. Take care of your beautiful lives. Until next time, I love you guys. Bye.